But once there was a man being chased by the tiger in the jungle, and the tiger had almost caught him. When he was desperate, because tigers eat people and they can run much faster than any man can. But he spied in the jungle an old well, and he managed just to jump into that well just before the tiger could catch him. But as soon as he committed himself to jumping in, he realized he'd made a big mistake, because that well was dry, and at the bottom of that well he saw a big black snake. And instinctively he reached out to the side of the well and grabbed on to a tree root which was pushing through the wall of the well. He grabbed onto that and it stopped his fall. And when he came to his senses, he looked down. The snake had been woken up and had lifted its head and opened its hood and was trying to strike him at his feet. But his feet were just too high. The snake couldn't quite reach him. So he looked up to see what happened to the tiger. The tiger hadn't given up yet. The tiger was leaning over into the well with his paws, trying to paw him. But his hand was just too low, and the snake couldn't quite reach him. So there he was, a snake underneath trying to bite him on his feet, a tiger above him trying to claw him. I wonder what's going to happen next. He noticed out of a hole in the side of the well, two mice came out, a black mouse and a white mouse, and they started chewing at his roots, making it thinner and thinner and thinner. So it wasn't going to last very long. So, this is what was happening. Because the tiger was trying to paw him, as it was pawing him, he was actually, his backside was rubbing against a tree, making it shake. On a branch of that tree, right above the well, was a bee's nest. Bees were okay, but the honey started to drip out of that bee's nest, right down into the well. And he could manage to put his tongue out and taste the honey. Oh, so delicious. And that's the end of the story. It was a beautiful story, because does life have such big endings? That's what life is like, isn't it? Now we've got environmental catastrophe above us and credit crunch below us. We're really in a mess. And so the black and white mice, that's night and day, chewing at our precarious hold on life. That's the cancer and the other stuff which we've got in our bodies. So credit crunch below us, environmental catastrophe, climate change above us, and we've got cancer at the same time, eating at our life. So what do? You know, there's always honey dripping down. This is so delicious. If you know the meaning of that story, you know how to have peace of mind. Be able to enjoy the honey, which is always there to be tasted. People know you've got a snake below you and a tiger above you, and you're not going to live very long. Understanding that that's possible, you let go of the past, you let go of the future. The future is uncertain. Traditionally, that's how the story ended, which is why I like it, because life is always incomplete. But, being Ajahn Brahm, I added my own ending to that story, which is very plausible. This could have happened. Because I know that sometimes the tiger's leaning over. Sometimes you do lean over a little bit too far, which the tiger did, and he fell into the well. Fortunately, he missed the man, but fell on top of the snake, crushed the snake to death and broke his own neck. So there you go. The man could actually climb out of the well at his leisure and go off. Sometimes that can happen, and sometimes things like that do happen. We think the worst is going to happen, terrible things are going to go on, and there's a solution which we never anticipated comes along, and all our problems are fixed. Until we fall into another well or get chased by another tiger. But at least there are many, many moments where we could be enjoying the honey, and because we were worried, anxious, afraid, we never enjoy the honey which comes to us, which is why we never have peace of mind. You can't find peace of mind anywhere else except halfway down a well between a tiger and a snake. That's where you find peace of mind, because that's your life. When you understand that, why do we get peace of mind? We don't know what's going to happen next. The past we can let go of. We don't need to go and think in all these negative ways. We can enjoy these moments. We can have peace of mind within the imperfections and uncertainties of life. And you don't need to be perfect to have peace of mind. This again is a big mistake of human beings. We want to have safety, security, we want to have everything just right before we can have peace of mind. It does not never work. So have peace of mind now. It's a hot day today. Fine, you can at least make peace of mind with it. There's lots of honey happening today, lots of joyful experiences. But if people complain, oh, it's too hot, oh, it's hot, oh, I don't want it to be hot, then you can't enjoy the honey of today. Or when it's too cold. Or when it's, I don't know what else is happening, you've got a tummy ache, or you've got sort of a headache, or you've got some other ache. There's always some ache going on. So instead of that, you can have peace of mind, even if you are sick. Oh, what a wonderful thing that is to know. You don't have to be healthy to have peace. A terrible thing, because we're always, sick sometimes. So it doesn't matter what's happening, you can always make peace with things, and you can have peace of mind. And even when you're dying. Why not have peace of mind when you're dying? Isn't it wonderful? I'm now dying, I'm out of here. No more worries about tax, global warming, or anything else. You're free. You're out of here soon. So you can have peace of mind when you're dying. And to you though, you don't know if you're going to die or not. That was Ajahn Chah's great teaching. When I was sick in hospital, he came to visit me. He gave me one of those great teachings, just one-liners. You keep on remembering this for the rest of your life. Once you get some wisdom, it sticks with you. He told me, Brahma Wanso, you're either going to get better or you're going to die. Well, that really hurt at first, because that wasn't what I expected. That wasn't like the usual bedside manner of your best friend. But it was so wonderful. After you started thinking about this, it means, the sickness isn't going to last. Oh, that's such a relief. You're going to get better, you're going to die. What's the problem? So understanding that, you can make peace no matter what's happening. It's great, you don't know which one it's going to be, because the future's really uncertain. Sometimes people that go in hospital with a toothache and they die. Sometimes they've got, incurable cancer, 3 days to live, and they're still alive 20 years later. So it's totally uncertain. So understand that you don't have to worry about anything. You don't know what's going to happen next. So it means you can be at peace no matter what's happening in life. And fortunately, you've seen people like this. People who, you look at them and they're sick, they're sort of dying, they're supposed to be in agony, but they end up sort of telling jokes. They're happy, they're peaceful people. Actually, I'll tell my joke with you, because I can do it now. It's actually how to be peace. Because sometimes those dogs bark. That's just what dogs do. You've got to let that, because sometimes even that noise makes people upset. And so this is a little joke about that. This is a courtesy of Gus, who's not here, came to my monastery a few days ago. I told him I would acknowledge the source of this joke. It's a story about Brown Paper Bob. This fellow, many years ago in the United States, in the Wild West, he rode his horse into town, and he stood to this town, and it was deserted. There was no one there. It was like a ghost town. And so he wondered what was going on. He managed to see this old man outside the saloon, and said, "Where is everybody?" And he said, "Oh, they've gone to the hanging of Brown Paper Bob." And this visitor said, "Why did anyone call themselves Brown Paper Bob?" He said, "Oh, he's a bit of an eccentric, Brown Paper Bob. Instead of having a proper cowboy hat, he puts a brown paper bag on his head. He doesn't have a shirt and a jacket. He has a big brown paper bag. It cuts a hole in one side, a hole in the other side. He puts his arms through that. Not even any trousers. You guessed it, another brown paper bag. He does wear proper cowboy boots, but everything else is brown paper." I said, "Well, what are you hanging for?" "Oh, for rustling."